Hey, Sam here, and today I'm taking a look at the X-Plus VickyBoard. It's an ergonomic keyboard with a pretty interesting split layout, and it's currently on Indiegogo for $180, but it will retail at around $220 to $250. My early sample came with the hard shell carrying case with the Xplus logo on it, and there's also a few items included with the keyboard. There is a user manual included for the keyboard, and it covers all of the specifications and functions of the keyboard. A braided Type A to Type C cable for charging up the keyboard and using it in wired mode. A few extra keycaps for the Mac layout so you can switch them out if you're using Mac OS. As for the keyboard, I have the Onyx Black version, and it's a CNC acrylic case, so it's not that heavy at 1.32 kilograms or 2.9 pounds. This keyboard comes with 72 keys, and I think that the most interesting part is the 65% Alice style layout with this split keyboard to the left and to the right. From the top, you can see the Xplus logo here in the middle, and there's also one more at the bottom right of the keyboard next to the arrow keys. Here on the back on the top left corner is where the Type-C port is located. This is the side profile of the keyboard, and as you can see, the acrylic is see-through, so you can see the switches, keycaps, and screws inside. This is the same with the other side, and I think it looks pretty cool. On the bottom, there's 4 non-slip feet and the 3000 mAh battery here in the middle inside the keyboard. Besides that, you can also clearly see the PCB here as well, and the on-off switch on the bottom corner here. So with the keyboard turned on, here is what the RGB looks like. Honestly, it's really nice and it shines through the case and keycaps really nicely. As for the RGB effects available, there is a lot already pre-programmed onto the board, so here is me cycling through all of them. Moving on from the RGB, the keys here can also be reconfigured with the given software. So all of the 4 layers and all of the keys here can be changed according to you. Next to cover is the keycaps, and I think that their choices here are definitely interesting to say the least. The semi-translucent black ones here are cherry profile, and they have the legends printed on the top, and it has a rougher texture on the top layer as well. The enter key and spacebar on the other hand are dice up PBT, but in another keycap profile, and I'm not sure what it is, it looks like this. This is the same for the extra matte keycaps included. As you can see, they are not cherry profile, and I'm not sure why they did this, it's a little bit confusing. As for the switches, mine came with the Gateron G Pro yellow switches with the RGB diffuser on it. These switches are pretty good, and they do come factory loop because they are from the G Pro lineup, so it's smooth out of the box. The stabilizers included are plate mounted, and they do come slightly lubed as well. And from my use and testing, I think they are pretty good because they do not rattle when in use. The PCB is 5-pin hot swap and has a north facing layout, so the LED is on the top. This is pretty good as it will support most switches in the market, but I would rather have a south-facing layout. And surprisingly, I don't feel any interference with the cherry profile keycaps that come on the keyboard. And as for the hot swap sockets, Xplus is using Cal hot swap sockets, so that's really good. So if you're curious what plate is included, there is actually no plate here. The switches and stabilizers just sit on the top acrylic case where all of the holes have already been CNC'd onto the acrylic. So that means there is no flex whatsoever, it's a very stiff typing experience. but there is a thin piece of foam included to absorb some of the typing noise. You can see it here is this black piece which sits in between the PCB and the top case. So with all of that covered, here is the typing sound test of the X-Plus VickyBoard. Alright, to sum up my review, this X-Plus VickyBoard is definitely interesting. For me personally, I think the branding is too much. You get two here on the top and one at the bottom, and it really does stick out like a sore thumb. Another thing I don't like is the layout, where it can be a little bit hard to get used to because it has the backspace key here in the middle. But with all of that said, I do like the idea behind this keyboard. The RGB on it is really nice and the layout is ergonomic once you get used to it. Plus the whole transparent and futuristic look is nice too. So if you are interested in the X-Plus VickyBoard, it will be linked in the description below, so remember to check them out. And that wraps it up for this video. Thanks to Xplus for the early sample and thank you for watching. Leave a like on this video if you liked it, dislike this video if you didn't, and remember to subscribe. I have more keyboard reviews coming very soon.